I'm sitting today with Mr. Nitesh Rana, over 2 decades of being an advocate with the Supreme Court, a special counsel. He's 2 years younger than me, and he's a former special prosecutor for ED. Nitesh, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you so much. Additionally, he was also listed by Forbes as top power entities, legal entities in India. So Nitesh, I'm sorry to ask you this, but I read a lot in the media that you resigned from Enforcement Directorate and probably resigned for a person, or what's the story?
See, I also read in newspaper that there is a news circulation that I have resigned for certain people to represent them in the court, which is not correct. I resigned in March 2023. Whereas I proposed my resignation orally to the organization a year back before that. So that was, I had a lot of responsibilities, so I was trying to do my best with my responsibilities, and eventually in March 2023 I resigned, and which was accepted eventually in 2023 September by the Government of India, and I was free to do my private practice. And this resignation has nothing to do with anybody, or I wanted to, or they wanted me to represent in the court. I was absolutely wanted to shift my practice to the private side, and this happens in the lawyer's life, that they always want to get into the private practice, and that was my intention.
You wanted to go on your own?
Yes.
And you wanted to follow your own practice?
That is correct thing.
You guys don't get homes, no, for rent also? People don't rent out homes to you, right? Or marry you, I think, for that matter.
No, actually, today's lawyers generation, there's a generation change. So now things are different, where lawyers are getting loans, lawyers are getting girls for marriage. Yes, lawyers are getting credit cards also, house and everything. So things have changed now.
Question 1. You've dealt with all kinds of crime. We look at civil cases, criminal cases, but there's also a white-collared crime, a blue-collared crime, and there's another crime, right?
White-collar is related to money, property, whereas blue-collar crimes are related to body crimes, street crimes. Like I would give example like a murder, rape, theft, robbery. These kind of street crimes are blue collar crimes.
See, everybody's not a lawyer, and we read about some ED case or some PMLA case, people going into NCLT. Tell us exactly what these bodies are, just for the simple folks like me.
Enforcement Directorate is a statutory body created by statute by the Parliament, which deals with the certain laws, which are something like FEMA, which is Foreign Exchange Management Act, or a Prevention of Money Laundering Act, or a Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. This is called FEOA. So Enforcement Directorate is dealing with these 3 laws, and if you go to NCLT, NCLAT, or other statutory bodies which deals with the company's laws, which is more like a civil law. But in Enforcement Directorate, if you see Foreign Exchange Management Act, which is FEMA, is a civil part of it, but the rest, which is whether it is a Fugitive Economic Offenders Act or Prevention of Money Laundering Act, these are criminal act, which has civil elements also, but more like it has a penal provisions. So therefore, it is a criminal offence.
Statistically, what are the number of cases we're dealing with in India, being a large country, versus overseas, where I think just by the definition of population, it's probably less?
Let me answer this. See, if you go to other countries, whether it's America or England, especially, if you see them where judges are hearing maybe 2 or 3 cases in a week. But if you see the statistics of India, where judges are hearing, if you take a High Court, Delhi High Court, a situation where judges are dealing not less than 80 cases in a day. Every judge will deal with at least this much number of cases in a day. If you go to trial court, equally number or maybe larger. So I'm telling you the day statistic, forget about the week. So, and which is that's why there is a huge pressure of
2 cases
work on the
week overseas versus 80 cases a day in India, and that's pan India.
Yes, that's what is the situation is all over.
Explain money laundering and PMLA as a animal. How does it detect? How does it pursue?
See, money laundering is a law which is slapped against the people who are committing an offense by which money is generated. Let me simplify more. Where the money is generated by illegal means, they have committed some offense. Let's take it, they have committed a offense of 420 or a scam or something, and that money, whatever money is generated out of it, their money laundering comes in picture, and that law will be slapped against those people. That money laundering doesn't cover all black money.
Oh,
It is like that. If you may have a black money, but the source of that black money is legitimate, so the money laundering will not come in the picture there. If the black
How
money,
can the source of black money be legitimate?
suppose you have earned a money which is from a legitimate business, but you have not paid tax on it, so that is also a black money with you.
Oh, what would be your advice for the promoters or the owners or the people behind the business what would you advise them to fortify fast when they start a business so that they are not a part of any of these offenses?
Well,
I am not asking for a life hack. I'm asking for the common mistakes people make and it lands somewhere in one of your sections.
Well, let me explain. See, I would advise to everyone, if you are making money, if you're earning out of a legitimate business or legitimate source, pay tax. Whatever the government laws are there, accordingly you pay tax on it. And as far as other side of the black money which is generated out of the illegitimate source of business, by that is called schedule offense, that is crime. Basically, don't make any money out of a crime. That falls in the category of money laundering act, and there you are in problem, there you are in shit. And if you want to save yourself or you want to take precautions, then keep all your documents in a proper shape, hire a professionals who will suggest you how to deal with these kind of business where you can earn money from a legitimate source, and do not get into any illegitimate source which will put you in untrinkled water tomorrow. One thing you must understand, everybody in this country are supposed to know the basic law. Suppose you are driving, you are supposed to know the traffic law. You should know that killing anybody is offense.
Yes.
Theft is an offense. So this is a common thing. You must know, everybody must know these kind of things, which is, and this is expected by the society and the government, that you should, and the court, that you should know, you should follow these laws. So time to time you notice that the government of India advertise or make awareness programs by way of seminars in colleges, by TV programs, by media. All these mediums are used to make people aware. Well, there is a new law and you should know the basic part of it at least. For example, today the IPC or CRPC changed, but government is slowly making it people aware by way of it.
Indian Penal Code.
Yes.
CR.
Criminal Procedure Code. So these have been there are large amendments. There's a substantial amendment has been brought by the government of India, and government of India is doing all efforts to make people aware through media, through social media, through TV programs, through colleges, through seminars, through talks.
So that becomes a citizen's responsibility.
Yes.
To make yourself basically aware.
Aware about it. Yes.
In today's day and age, how hard is it to navigate big cases where there's constant commentary, constant narrative shifts? Have the digital assets and social media made it easier for you to get your message out there, or it just makes it messy, or does it help?
This is a very important question. Thank you for asking these questions to me. See, I would suggest people at large do not follow what is generally coming in social media, especially because that's a distorted. If you want to really get to know about the matter, go and search for it on internet and try and read the full part of it. In social media, we often see that one line coming up. One line is not the law, or one line is not the judgment of the court. You must understand the entire thing.
how important is to get to the context of every news item out there, especially when it comes to cases like this.
Let me tell you very candidly that I stopped watching news. I stopped, and if I have to read something, probably I'll go for articles. I'll go deep into it on internet or books or anything material available. Because today's media, I do not see the independence. They lost the independence, and therefore they give you one side of a story. They do not give you correct form. When there are a lot of things are circulated in the society, this side, that side, negative, positive. Also, at end of the day, you have to get into the deep to find out the truth, and that's your responsibility. Your responsibility. Media has forgotten their responsibility today.
So let's say you're with a client who actually committed an offense, and you maybe know about it or don't know about it, I don't know, but you still have to fight for him.
Yes, that's what the Advocate Act says. I cannot say no to any client. I cannot say that will be against the Advocate Act. I'll have to accept the brief.
For the Enforcement Directorate, while you were still there, you have tackled one of the biggest names, Lalu Prasad, D.K. Shiv Kumar, Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya, and very recently Kavitha.
Well, there is a little difference. See, when I was working, and now I do not work with the Enforcement Directorate. Earlier, I was while working with Enforcement Directorate, I was handling these matters. As far as Kavitha or the Delhi liquor scam is concerned, I am a defense lawyer in that case, and I am representing Kavitha and other accused in that matters, and I am defending them.
You've also handled large terror funding cases.
Yes, I did.
I have no idea about that landscape. Give us an example of a certain case, if you please.
Well, see, I would not name those cases because those cases are sub judice, but I can tell you how this, terror, what is terror funding and all. See, we have seen in the past and presently also all over the world, rather, we are seeing that there are terrorist acts. Whether it's like a 26/11 in America, or whether we have Bombay attacks or etc., bomb blast in Parliament, lot of Kashmir and all, we keep seeing there are bomb blasts and terror activities going on. So we have to understand one aspects of it. Now people are little, perplexed with the fact that how the terrorist act are connected to the money laundering. This is very important to understand.
Absolutely.
See, none of the activities in this or anywhere can be committed, or any offense can be committed without money. For every offense, you need money. Suppose you are committing any terrorist act, bomb blast. For that, you need a lot of logistics, you need money, you need to travel, you need to buy the weapons, hire people. So money is required for that. And that is where laundering comes. Now we have to get into these facts that, what are the source of these money which is reaching to these terrorist organizations? Who is funding? Who are funding? How they are getting money to commit this kind of offense?
In the last, let's say, 100 cases of terror funding in India, what is a repeated source of the money?
If you see a UAPA, that's an unlawful, act which covers the terror activities in the country, or money laundering investigation, you will see everywhere you will find certain aspects which is some people are sympathizer to these organizations.
What are
they
the
fund.
What are the repeat offenders?
See, when you see these Pakistani organizations, where there's a Lashkar-e-Taiba, where it's a Mujahideens and all these organization in Pakistan, they are carrying on terror activities in India.
But
so for that,
doesn't have its own money. How did?
That's what I'm telling you. There are certain, as I said, these cases are sub judice. I would not give you the exact things, but I would tell you how they get money. A, it is state first, it is state funded. B, there are sympathizers, people fund them. C, they show certain kind of trades happening, and which is not actual trade. That is a source of, generating funds for the terror activities. But those trade which they are showing just a face to cover those fundings.
There has to be a repeat source. Like you guys must already know, bhai, idhar se to aata hi hai.
Let's take it, certain products is sent from Pakistan to India when there is a trade happening between two countries. Certain product or certain element is sent to India. In reciprocation, something is sent from here also. So there is an overvaluation of all those products. And the money never goes back. The product is coming to this country. If something is coming, let's take it while something is happening in growing in Pakistan, and that product is coming to India. So money is not going back to them. The product is coming, but remains here.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is the name of trade.
So fine. I bought way too many carpets from there, which I
Yes.
think it's one of the largest trades,
Correct.
right? And India consumes quite a lot of carpets, right? You're saying it is quite possible that a large shipment is sold here, and that money, the sale money,
Never going back.
never left India.
Never left India. Those money are here.
Terrorist
Terror
activities in India.
activities. Yes.
What is more suspect than the other? Like, how do you detect them? What are the common?
I'll tell you. See, when there are various organizations, there are government has a lot of institution which is looking after these, where a transaction are taking place, and then when they have any suspicion about the transactions, so they go deep into it, and then they try to find, and then they investigate the matter, and then they see sources are not available. So there they find that, all right, where this money has come from, or what is the source of these funds. So our institutions are there who are definitely looking after. Yes, one of the source is also NGO. Yes,
Massive.
some of the NGOs. Yes, in fact, I would not name them, but I have dealt with these organizations or NGOs where their primary work is to get money and fund these terror activities. They are getting money. They are getting money in the name of certain social services,
Humanitarian
something.
activities.
Yes, or however, when you go deep into it, you find that purpose was never there. Purpose was to fund the terror
I
organization.
witnessed it firsthand. Can I please tell you, it's quite possible. About 8-10 years ago, a very big NGO, international NGO, through a friend of mine, calls me and said, we want to recruit the youth. Me being, doing what I'm doing, I'm like, all right, you need young people to do what? Humanitarian activities. And then, while on that conversation, he also said, but it's, can you please keep it discreet? Why would you want to keep discreet? If you're hiring young people, why would you want to keep discreet? Then I asked them, can you please give me the reason, the job requirement, or the JD as we call it? Key role areas kya hai? They could never really tell me that. They just kept saying humanitarian activities, which is not obviously true for all the NGOs, but I think that was my first brush, and I thought there was something off there.
See, I'll tell you this. You have to understand few things. Bringing money to India or sending any money outside the country is governed by a certain law, whether it's RBI or whether it's Foreign Exchange Management Act. So if you are bringing any money to this country illegally, that's one source that terror organization brings money to the country through hawala sources, or through NGOs, or through trade or something, and they use those money in the for the terror activities. I am very all of us should be thankful to the present dispensation, which really worked on it. This government has worked heavily on it and investigated these matters at a large, and found, yes, these money are not coming for the sources declared. It's coming for something else, and there they have taken action, and they have taken a big actions against them.
Is there anything which we can tell to the common people to be aware of in their daily lives, to be able to detect these organizations or these outfits easily and whistleblow to the right? Is there something like that?
See, these organizations are not like a petty organization. They are very large organizations. They work into certain parameters. They work very in a very systematic manner. They know how to use. It's very difficult for the common man to detect it. So therefore, that organizations, Government of India is well equipped to deal with such organization. And kudos to the Government of India dispensation, political system presently. They are working on it, and I would congratulate to them. Then last few years we haven't seen any big terror activities in this country. That is one of the things.
That is true. You can't just have a economic offense case for nothing. It just doesn't happen in 24 hours. Okay, let me go, and it needs a bit of a build up. Someone must have whistleblown, or there must be something substantial for someone to make a case, prosecute, and take it ahead. Correct? How suddenly we see, there's an ED case every day. ऐसे थोड़ा ना होता है.
Yes. See, let's understand two things.
For the common man.
Yes, common man. Let me make it very simple.
Yes.
Let me make it simple. First, let's understand white collar crime cannot be committed on the spur of moment or a heat of anger. This offense is a very well planned offense, planned by the well qualified people who are master stakeholders. They are well educated people. They know how to deal with these funds, and funds are huge. So therefore all these qualified people only do these white collar crimes, and they manages it, they do it. It cannot be done overnight. For example, somebody is taken a loan of 50,000 crore from a bank, and do you think overnight they can siphon it off it to any other country, or they can hide these money or park this money or layered anywhere? No, it takes substantial amount of time. And when largely companies committing an offense, either money is coming from bank to them, huge money comes as a fund loan, or let's take it a company which is into the real estate. They collect money from the public to they'll build home and then they will give it to the people. They collect huge money. Or there are multi-layer marketings, or you see that they promises that okay, I'll give you high interest on it, and they collect huge money from public. So this is not done overnight. It takes definitely substantial amount of time. They have been committing the offense for years. End of the day, they find all right, or they left the country, or they have siphoned off these money, or they have never returned the money to the investors.
Can you comment on one of your more exciting experiences doing this?
In the beginning, it was easy for people to run away from the country. How they did it, I'll tell you. First, they have taken a huge loan from the bank, and then slowly they send these money to outside by way of hawala or any other sources in the name of some investment, etc. And when they never return the money, the bank has reported to the CBI or the related organizations. Then CBI took off the matter. In between, when the moment it is reported to these organizations, they got time to leave the country. Now it has become more restricted. They see the moment government of India or the organization get to know that there is offense has been committed, first of all they do is they open up LOC. That's called lookout circular. And the moment the lookout circular is open, you cannot leave the country.
Were there trends earlier versus the trend of money laundering you see now? Conviction rates?
After 2014, Money Laundering Act has been enforced very forcefully, and that is why you see the large number of cases in last about 10 years we have here, and government is very, very seriously pursuing those matters. Government is very serious about money laundering, and there's one more side of it. See, the government of India is a signatory to the United Convention, Anti-Money Laundering Act, convention, and there almost more than 80 countries are there.
Be prosecuted under a scheduled offense for it to escalate into a money laundering full-blown case, correct?
No. Let me tell you. See, if any crime has taken place, out of that crime, money is generated.
Has been
detected or generated. So that money will be investigated by the Enforcement Directorate. But the original crime will be investigated by any other agency. It can be police, or it can be CBI, or it can be another agency. But the money part which is generated, let's take it, any offense has generated about 100 crores. Now, where that 100 crores has gone, how it is layered, how it is invested, how it is parked, how it is used, how it is projected as untainted. So these are the aspects of Money Laundering Act, and that's a limited work Enforcement Directorate has to do.
And so what do you guys have like a, how in sales you have like a target you have to close?
No, actually, you cannot have a target that this much crime will take place, or this much crime has taken place, so you have to go this way. No, it is like, it shouldn't be like that also. It looks very unfortunate when there's a target that, you have to, it's not something like, some company who has to achieve a marketing target or sales target. It's not like that, actually.
Do you guys have like a conclusion rate?
Like, look, see, wherever the idea is wherever there is offense, the agency will come in picture and investigate the matter, whether it's a one offense or 100 offense. See what happens when where this mutual legal assistance treaty, etc., which is called AMLET, comes in picture. Wherever, as I said in the beginning, there are almost about more than 80 countries came together, and they sat together. They had a convention. They decided that they will do a mutual assistance to each other in a way that somebody commits a crime in India and runs to, let's take it, he's going and settling in UK or US or any other part of the country. So since there is a legal treaty, so they will act. They will deport the person back, or they will take a legal action against that person, because there's a similarly, if somebody is coming from other country and settling down to India after committing an offense, so government of India will do the needful for that. So that is why these mutual legal assistance treaties are required. There are countries who are not part of these mutual. Yes, there are many small countries which are not part of these mutual assistance legal treaty, something like Dominica or Nigeria.
Are they housing
or is so yes, they are. Yes, yes. People are people who fugitive who are leaving the country and running away from here and settling down in a country like Dominica, some small island which is not part of this treaty, and they are evading, or they are from arrest or the legal action against them, and those countries are giving them asylum actually.
And how do you deal with countries which already are tax havens? How do you tackle that? I mean,
see, it's very difficult now. Those countries are independent sovereign countries. You cannot go after them since they are not accountable to the World Organization. So you cannot.
You just can't.
Yes, it's their basically voluntary action if they want to take. Otherwise, you cannot force them. At the max, you can put some certain restrictions upon them internationally. If international organization feels that all right, this particular country is giving asylum to many fugitives running from many countries, so there can be some international restrictions upon them, some trade, etc., etc. But then legally, you cannot bound them.
Fair. Is the Enforcement Directorate witnessing a lot many cases?
Wherever there is money laundering, largest number of cases are getting registered. Nothing is going unnoticed now. And other organizations are also reporting if there is a money laundering happening anywhere. So the Enforcement Directorate is definitely registering the cases, investigating them.
Have they become more efficient or more?
Well, rather, I would say they were always efficient, but the implementation was not there. Now there is a forceful implementation of law.
Isn't efficiency itself is enforcement?
Well, I would say right now the political willpower. Maybe I would say this government, this dispensation has more political willpower to enforce these laws. Whether it is a Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, whether it is Prevention of Money Laundering Act, whether it is a UAPA, or whether it is NDPS. These are the law I'm taking name of are very, very serious offences.
See, in catching money going out of India or economic fugitives or offenders, be it builders, be it large companies taking money, why is it viewed as a bad thing? Even a good thing that they are being detected? Just because the velocity is more doesn't mean it's not working for the country in general, innit?
Look, any money which is going out of the country is not good for the country in any case.
Literally my tax money.
Yes, our tax money. Let's take it. Somebody has taken a huge loan from the bank. It's your money, and he's transporting it to another country and leaving the country, settling down elsewhere with the siphon of money. So definitely, it is great damage to the economy of the country.
It's a good thing that a lot more crimes are being detected and enforced upon versus not.
First, large offences are detected. Then slowly they go down to the small petty offences, the smaller offences also. That is happening.
Why are people generally scared of criminal laws versus civil laws, criminal cases?
All of us loves one thing most is a freedom. And in the criminal offence, your freedom is taken away.
How will you, or what will you advise companies, mid-cap, large-cap, small-cap, startups who are looking for funding, and maybe the companies, it's an international company, for JVs, for tie-ups, and then you have to be aware of the source of money. What would you advise them to fast cross check.
So first thing first you should do, or they are doing it also, that do the due diligence. Due diligence of their documents, their past history, corporate intelligence are there, you employ them, you hire them, corporate detectives are there who will tell you, and I think today corporate houses are hiring them for the, finding out about the
Nitesh,
previous
let's say if I start a
companies.
small apparel business and I need, let's say, 3 million from a company overseas, I don't have the bandwidth to go for, it's almost hiring somebody to go figure out. They are only going to show me the source of money as nice, white and clean. And
That is where all these international accounting firms, or international accounting firms who does the due diligence, or corporate intelligence, these things works. You hire them, tell them, give them documents, tell them to find out their sources, the history of the company,
expensive.
who all are. Yes, it is. In today's time, see, understand always, whenever there is economic growth, wherever in the world it has happened, wherever there was economic growth, there are economic offenses.
And what are the weirdest places people have hid money in all your cases that I need to know?
See, if you're talking about within the country, how they invest money in property,
Of course.
then they invest money in gold,
Art.
and yes, they invest money in art. And then they invest money in their basements. Probably demonetization has really damaged them.
Damaged that.
Yes. And when you talk about the internationally, then they take it to other country, and largely they invest into the properties basically, or they would invest into some company. And shell companies, yes, shell companies, they invest into, through which shell company is one of the vehicle through which laundering is largely taking place. And so this is what people are spending on their lifestyles. And so that's how they are.
Random question: when there's so many checks. When I studied company law, there's so many places that you can identify or trigger a related party transaction, because without an RPT, you can't really pull this off. So where did it fail earlier?
See, laws were always there. And if you're talking about money laundering laws, this was enacted in 2002. Today, the government has.
No, but
Agency has.
Either you were vehement about it, or you're not.
Look, probably I am not the right person to comment on that. But since I have worked in this sector for a long time, so I could see the intention of the government. Never wanted to compromise with these kind of offense. Understand, any economic offense have been considered as a very, very serious offense. Agencies are working very efficiently. Their intentions are very clean. They really want to check these kind of illicit money, which is damaging the society, which is damaging the health of the economy of the nation.
How many cases was the agency dealing with then on an average versus now?
Large number of cases have been registered. Probably earlier there was no such cases. Huge transformation.
There were cases, but they were not registered.
They were not registered, not serious, not taken it to the logical level and all, logical conclusions. But after 2014, yes, there was a very, very seriously these offences have been taken. If you go on the statistic, probably Government of India today has confiscated about 1,15,16,000 crores of illicit money, which is generated out of crime. So that has been attached. More than, every day you get to see arrests. More than almost about 800-900 people have been arrested all over the country. Rather more than, I'm just giving you some statistic. Then why we're talking about only a businessman? We're talking about the political people also. People, they have been trying to bring those people back to the country and face the consequences here, face the legal consequences, who have left the country. So all these things are taking at their level, and government and organizations are seriously pursuing these matters.
Thank you so much, Nitesh, for your time. Really appreciated it. This was literally Economic Offences 101 for normies like me.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.